Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage, Karl the Shark Schuckert!
Thank you so much. You guys are too kind. What an amazing group of people here. What an amazing brain dump of information. One of the things that is so hard when going to a lot of events is like so much information, so much nuggets. Just listening to James on the last one speak, I learned some stuff. I was back there like taking notes and like thinking about what are some things I could do that, are changing and relatively affecting my ads that are going forward. However, I do have a lot of feedback, just so you guys know. So anyway, guys, I've got a lot of stuff to cover myself, and I want to make sure that I do, just an amazing job for you guys. You have a lot of very brilliant entrepreneurs here out in the audience. So I just want to do a really good job and make sure that you guys get what you need out of this talk. I've spent a lot of time putting this together for you guys. I cannot wait to share this stuff with you. This is the stuff that I get incredibly passionate about. And it makes me wake up every day because it's like this new emerging market that I've got the opportunity to actually start educating and teaching other people about. But before I get into that, I do, and I know you guys are excited about chatbots. Let me ask you guys too. Who here is using chatbots? Whoa, like one or two people. Nobody's using messenger marketing? Sweet. You guys are my people. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna cover everything you guys need to know about messenger marketing today. So a little bit about me. My name's Karl Schuckert. Some people call me Karl the Shark Schuckert. It's because I came from the belly-to-belly marketing world where I sold insurance for a Platinum 400 company, worked my way all the way up to a regional director. The next spot was going to be a business partner. And I decided at that point that it was too much bureaucracy and too much politics, office politics, and I had the entrepreneur bug anyway, so we jumped out, me and my wife, and we just decided to move out. Actually started here in Las Vegas, which was pretty crazy, but we decided to just go to San Diego directly after that, and then from San Diego, we moved back up to Lake Tahoe, and then I started to get this, getting in the entrepreneurial bug, started just following everybody, because that's kind of what you do when you get started, right? You're finding out, like, who are the biggest and the baddest mofos, online right now that I could start learning about from. I could see what they can do. I could start duplicating what they can do. And luckily, I found a guy who's going to be speaking later on today. His name's Chris Record. And I started working with him because, you know what? He was doing millions of dollars out of his office. So I was able to go and kind of learn from him and start duplicating some of the things that he does. And he kind of opened up his whole business, his software company, his info product companies. And I got to see and work with him and became what's called a JV manager. So I was like one of those guys that were in the back of the scenes of things, not necessarily getting to be up here on stages and speak now, but that's kind of where you start. Like you got to start and you got to find a mentor and you got to learn from people that are already making things happen. So he opened up everything and we were talking about my name. It's Karl Schuckert. Like, can you pronounce Schuckert? Kinda. I can't even pronounce it, okay? I know Keala, he has the same issue with his name. We were joking about it before. So he's like, people need to remember who you are. And I told him about this nickname that I had, which was Kark Sharky, because in the insurance business, I was really good at sales. He was like, and then I was like, how about the shark? And it kind of just stuck, right? So the name, the shark, always has that. Sharks can have a good annotation. They can also have a bad annotation too, right? Like you have card sharks and pool sharks and the people you owe money, and then you also have the Shark Tank, and you also have sharks. Like the last few years, it's become very relevant. So we went with it. Karl the Shark Schuckert. People remembered it. They never forgot it. So that's kind of the reason why I did it. And that's a little bit of background story about where I came from. And from there, because I got to see like millions and millions of dollars, of ad spends, of JV affiliate launches, all of that stuff, got to see even the bad sides of things like accounts being shut down because so much money gets put into them. But hey, that's a good problem, right? So I got to see all this stuff kind of rolling into this business, and it was just amazing. And it started to change me the way that I started thinking, because before I was thinking like a salesperson. And who here's in sales? Guys, you're all in sales. First off, you guys are all in sales. You just happen to offer something else of value, but you're all in sales. But in sales, you're spending a lot of your time belly to belly, person to person. What changed and was like literally a pivotal change in my life, and I'm going to give you guys this little nugget, is I changed my mindset from thinking like, or for fishing with a pole to fishing with a net. You know that saying, the old saying, give a man a fish, he lives for a day. Teach a man a fish, he lives forever. How about when you could fish with a net? How would that change your life? And in sales, we always talk about numbers, and also too, by the way, I'm going to get nerdy and geeky, and I heard you guys say that's like bonus material. You could just say, hey dork, explain that to me if something happens. Hey nerd, you're getting nerdy, stop it. But getting back into this whole thing about fishing with a net versus fishing with a pole it is about numbers. Know your numbers. And once you know your numbers, that's when you can start scaling. So in sales, we would say, how many no's could we get out of the way? Because no's would put us into some yeses. And if you could close 1 out of 5, that was a 20% closing ratio. So if you can see 10 people in a day, I was going to walk out with 2 sales in a day. Maybe I made $1,000 each sale. It's $2,000 a day, 7 days a week. It's a good income. But what about if you can get 5,000 no's? What if you can get 10,000 no's? What if you can get 100,000 no's? And with chatbot marketing, you could actually do that because it creates this thing that's like a relationship building thing. So you guys can see I've got one of my scan messenger things on the right. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I know you guys are going to be excited about that because this thing is literally going to change business cards as we know it. Guys, what do you do with your business cards? They get lost, right? They get lost, they throw it away, they get put in a box somewhere. In fact, I was actually getting this jacket ready, and I looked inside the jacket, and I had a stack of business cards from an event I went to a year ago. And I was looking through them. Oh, man, I was supposed to contact that guy. Oh, my gosh, I should have contacted that guy. It's horrible what we do with business cards nowadays. The other thing I want to teach you about, too, which I saw Kayla talking about, was how to use PLR for list building. I'm going to show you a tactic I call the flexi list building method. And the flexi list building method is the most flexible list building method you will ever see, okay? Because Facebook, they already have the data. They're allowing us as marketers to leverage their data to build our list. So I'm going to show you guys that. That's just kind of a little sneak peek. I'm using curiosity tactics here. The next thing here is Facebook's 10-year roadmap. I want to show you this because I was future pacing this when I first saw this. Mark Zuckerberg, who happens to be probably one of the best pivoters in business today, because he can see an idea, he sees things going in the future, and he does a lot of good pivoting, which keeps us kind of all super engaged with his ideas. So on Facebook, you guys can see the ecosystem, which is Facebook and Instagram, and then you can see, and that's right now 2008. We're really in the second year and the third year. This is a 10-year roadmap. You guys can see in the middle, smack dead in the middle, is Messenger. And Messenger, guys, is literally, I almost want to say it's going to turn into its own ecosphere, and it's all going to kind of come together here in a minute. And also, it's going to be like the future of Messenger. I mean, as far as evolution goes, okay? These things are evolutionarily changing the way we live our lives, the way we communicate with our families. And it's also going to change not just from your pocket, but eventually it's going to be like a contact lens that you stick in your eye, okay? Literally the technology is already coming here. You saw with he talks about augmented reality, artificial intelligence, connectivity. And guys, in 2015, when Mark Zuckerberg got up on stage and started talking about this stuff, I got the shivers. Have you ever had that where you get a little shiver and you get little goosebumps on your arm and you feel it in the back of your neck, like your hairs stand up? That's what happened to me, because as a marketer, I started future pacing, what are they doing with Messenger in 2015? And at that time, Mark said, we're not going to do commerce, but we're going to open up a couple of these little API hooks so some developers can kind of come in and start playing with this stuff. But I knew it instantly. I knew right at that moment that they were going to bring commerce to Messenger, even though they weren't saying it. Then the very next year, 2016, he brought out a guy named David Marcus. Does anybody know who David Marcus is? Nope. Okay. David Marcus is the ex-CEO of PayPal. Okay, why would Facebook allow the ex-CEO of PayPal to run a division of their company? And why would a CEO move to another company not as a CEO? So I started thinking, my mind just started racing. What are they doing? They're bringing commerce. Why would a multi-trillion-dollar company be a part of this? Okay, so I knew it immediately they were going to do some stuff with it, and they did. They started opening up more APIs. They started letting developers grow. Now they're growing a huge developer platform just with the messenger marketing thing. And luckily, I had the foresight at the time to say, I want to be a part of that. I want to help people get and become a part of that. That's where sort of the initial phase of Segmate app started, okay? And so we just started developing on it. It was actually 23 months now, as of today, when we started our first mock-ups of the actual software, which is pretty amazing. Facebook also talked a little bit more about some of the other things on there, like I was saying, connectivity. There's a problem in Silicon Valley for developers, for companies, which is how do we get the last billion people on this earth connected? And right now, there's 3.5 billion people online connected. Facebook has 2.5 billion of those people almost, okay? And there's 7.5 billion people on this earth. So that's a big number that they still have to get a hold of. And that also tells you about the opportunity still in the internet is like, it's still in adolescence. It's like 20 years old or 22 years old, something like that. Well, Messenger is just a baby right now in that whole thing. But Messenger, it just tells you, like, that's the problem. So the problem is Facebook, Google, a lot of these big companies are starting to bring internet to the world. And they're doing it through, high-altitude tech. They're doing it with satellites, telecom infrastructures, shared infra, just all the stuff you see up there, affordable access, so they can bring it to some of the third world countries. The other thing they talked a lot about was AI, artificial intelligence. It's getting better. It's machine learning. That's the cool thing about that. Like on Messenger, they have like a suggestion bot. So if you're hungry or something like that, and you're talking to your friends, it might actually pop up a suggestion. It'll show you like some food locations in the local area. And then also virtual and augmented reality, which is pretty cool as well for e-commerce. I'm seeing a huge opportunity here for e-commerce where you could like pull up your phone and you could see like what a bracelet would look like. I've done it where you could see those rising up tables. You could look under the table. You could see like the serial number. You could change the colors, change all the way the whole thing looks. You can move it up and down, like if it's one of those tables that move up and down. So you almost feel like you can see it like right in front of you. And what it really does, guys, is it's kind of like when you go to buy a new car. What's the first thing that the salesman tries to do to you when you go to buy a new car? Test drive, exactly. Why? Because you can feel it. Because emotions are the transfer of sales. So if you feel like the first reason why we make decisions typically is emotionally we're buying it, and then logically we kind of back it up later, like how much money it is. So they put you in the car, you're driving the car down the road, then they're asking you, man, how does it feel? Go ahead and hit that gas a little bit. You're hitting the gas, you're speeding up. He's like, how's that feel? And that feels good. All right, cool. Let's talk about some pricing options. I'll bring you inside when we come back, and if you can qualify, we'll get you in. So the same kind of thing happens with this augmented reality, because now you could look at a picture of yourself, like Sephora. I'm going to show you guys an example. There's a girl that buys a lipstick on her face and chooses the different colors of lipstick before she buys it, and then she makes a purchase all from inside of Messenger. So that's like where the technology is going. It's nuts. So something happened in 2015, and if you can see right there, there's a crisscross between, right there, like early 2015, that in the 4 big messaging apps versus the 4 big social media apps, that more eyeballs, more people were staying in Messenger and spending more time in Messenger than they were spending on social media. So the writing was on the wall. We were talking about how Zuckerberg likes to pivot. He saw this. He knew that this was a direction that his company needed to make to keep eyeballs, because they were such a big, advertising company, really. Then after Mark talked on 2016, he said the word chatbots. And after he said that word, it didn't become a fantasy anymore that you watched on some movie or something like that. It actually became real. And if you could see a Google Trends right there, it had an increase. Here's the demographics that are using Messenger versus email. And I think this is eye-opening too, because everybody kind of does what their kids do when it comes to online stuff, especially with communication. So the kids have already adapted this. This has already become a fabric of their lifestyle, okay? And you can see right here, 13 to 24, this is the percentages versus email of how much time they're actually spending in chat versus email. You can see the middle age group, which is 25 to 44, and then 45 plus. And we're just, I would say like 25 to 45, we're just kind of like lost. We're just going to do whatever our kids do because we want to communicate with our kids, right? Now, one thing that has come up to me a few times was, Karl, what if Facebook says, we're not going to do the chatbot thing anymore. We're not going to do messenger marketing anymore, even though that you could see more people are spending time in there. Well, I don't know. This is their actual facility in Menlo Park. They're spending a lot of money and a lot of resources into messenger marketing. Who here knows what people make, like an engineer makes in Silicon Valley on average? I think I heard it was like 170,000. 180. $180,000, like starting. So.
Yeah, about that. Like just a base tech can get $100K in Silicon Valley right now. That's the job I'm not taking to do this.
Sweet. Right on, brother. Great to have you here. So you can see, like, those are 100,000 plus jobs, each person there. Some of them probably make close to $300,000, as you know. So you can see, and then David Marcus, I'm sure they pay him pretty well. He's in the front. This is chat extensions. This is another kind of eyebrow raiser that happened at that event. Guys, I nerd out and I dork out at these events every single year, okay? I literally because I want to see what they're doing. Like, I want to know what they're doing. They're showing the roadmaps. I want to see how, as a marketer and also as a software developer, how can I help people leverage their platform? So how cool would it be if your company could leverage the same power that Apple Music, Food Network, OpenTable, Fandango, these recognizable brands we're living with now, how can we all, leverage the same thing? Well, chat extensions has actually allowed us to do that. And not to get really confusing with the word chat extensions or anything like that, but really what it means is like we all now get to play in the same backyard with these same companies, okay? And I've got a really good analogy and a really good depiction that I think that'll actually help paint the picture for what this means for you guys, okay? So I need you to use like your kid's imaginative mind. I need you guys to think about like just use your imagination however you need to do it. But imagine that you're at a barbecue, okay? And it's a beautiful mansion, big, nice backyard. Right in the center is a golden brick road. And down that brick road is where everybody comes into to that barbecue. And you can see there's a big guy he's a blue guy with flipping burgers and hot dogs. And he's the Facebook guy, right? You're in Facebook's backyard. And you're walking through the brick road, golden brick road. And there's your best images of yourself. You've got your baby pictures. You've got the best trips you went into. You've got the cars you drive. Or you're being inspired from other people and their cars you drive. Every once in a while, there's a couple sad stories. There's stuff that's going on. It's life, right? Life is happening there. And every so often, you're also showing a guy holding a sign, walking through here saying, buy my shit. And hopefully, he's captured your mind. Hopefully he's being disruptive enough, and hopefully his headlines are hard-hitting enough, and hopefully he's targeted you really well, or Facebook has targeted you really well with lookalike audiences. That's the news feed, guys. That's the news feed that you see every day when you turn on Facebook. But if you think to the left and to the right, there's tables. There's round tables. What's going on at those round tables? Conversations. Right? The conversations. Who are we having these conversations with? Our family members, our loved ones, our spouse, our kids, our friends, our business partners. We're talking to everybody there. Well, now, because of messenger marketing, we're also talking to the businesses that we know, like, and trust. That is the power of chat extensions, and that is exactly what Facebook's allowed you to leverage if you decide to use it. It's a new emerging market. It's a new emerging technology. They're calling it the conversational marketing. I've kind of coined a term called chatconomy because it literally is becoming a new economy, like growing right now. And it's a first mover's advantage. It's so important as a marketer to start doing this right away, start using messenger marketing in your business, because you'll be one of the first people. It's like the first people that move are the ones that get the most benefit out of it. Does that all make sense? Awesome. Nerdy time. All right, so I'm just going to show you some of the things that they built in here. They've got the turn-by-turn instructions if you show someone an address, and also they'll ask you if you want an Uber or a Lyft, and you can pay from it right all from inside of Messenger. You've got games. They're just super highly engaged games. They have a thing. If you guys want to grab your phone right now, I want to show you something cool. Open up. Who here has Messenger? Raise your hand. Pretty much everybody. Usually when I go into a room, 1 out of 10 doesn't, but usually the rooms I go into are business people, so almost everybody does. So who doesn't? 4 people in this room. That's amazing. So that tells you, right? I'm pretty sure out of the 1.3 billion people on Messenger that your business, your company, or your avatar is in there, your market. So open it up, go to the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little octagon-looking thing, and click on that. Okay, and now scroll down through there. These are all different businesses that you guys can rank in here and create free traffic in here if you know how to get your company in here. Okay, and also it's about fan pages, and it's about like how responsive you are on your fan pages, because that's where you actually talk to your customers. And it's also geographic location. It's also keyword retention. So this is actually a directory that Facebook gives us for free that you can actually list and have your bot and your business and your brand in there for free. So pretty cool. I'll actually show you, I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Also too, they brought in like emotions, emoticons, stuff like that. Just again, bringing emotion, just making it real, making it part of life. It's not just a robot that you talk to, or your friends doesn't feel like a robotic thing as well. You guys remember Facebook tried to buy Snapchat a couple years ago, or a year ago actually. That didn't go so well, so Facebook said, fine, we'll build our own. And they also do it with Instagram now, where you can do your lives on Instagram, and they'll post it on your Facebook as well, which is pretty cool. Bots for e-commerce. A lot of the e-commerce platforms are starting to use this pretty well. I'll show you some examples in a minute. Here's one of my favorite bots out there. There's a lot of different ways to do this. There's the imagination. It can go wild once you grasp this stuff and once you wrap your mind around it, because it's like as far as you can imagine it, you can build it, which is really, that's when it gets fun, right? The first time is like, I don't really know about it yet, so I'm not really doing it yet. And it's kind of like riding a bicycle. Like, the first time you rode a bicycle, I had no idea how to ride a bicycle until my cousin pushed me down the hill, and I had to learn, right? And sometimes in life and in business, we need to just go down the hill. So this is one of my favorite ones. This is just a really cool one. It says, hi, I'll be your absolute bartender tonight. So, and also too, I want to back up just a little bit. Right before this, they either came in from an ad, or they came in from Facebook's fan page, or they came in from a landing page somewhere, or they're an existing client on an email list. Who knows where they came in from? But they clicked on it and they said, start my absolute night. So most likely it was an ad. And once they clicked that, it said, hi there, I'm your absolute bartender bot tonight. Can I offer you a sample of one of our cocktails at a nearby bar? It's on me. Well, hey, look, if I'm an absolute vodka guy and I'm thinking about having a cocktail at a nearby bar, hell yeah. So I'm going to click yes, please. Then it's going to ask me, which bar would you like to go to? Choose one on the map. Then I'm going to scroll through, find the different ones that they're doing this promotion with. Click. Now I found one of my favorite watering holes. I clicked on there. It says, okay, Zakila, which absolute cocktail would you like to enjoy? Now they're asking me, which one would I like to enjoy? Subconsciously, I'm thinking about where I'm at the bar that I like to go to. Now I'm thinking about what kind of drink do I want. I'm not thinking about chatbots or marketing or messenger. I'm thinking about what kind of drink do I want. My mouth is probably even salivating if it's a really good drink that I know about. So I'm going to go through that. I'm going to pick my favorite drink, and then it's going to go, great, here's a button below to get your Graphify code, and and let Zakila know to expect you. Get code. Now they get the code. They're using a third-party service. There's a countdown timer on the code, so there's some there's some urgency on there to get me to go ahead and use it. But as soon as I go there, I'm showing the code, and now they can actually track the results of this. This particular one did about a 2.7x on the benchmark when they actually tested this one. But guys, this is just one way that you can actually use messenger marketing for your business. Just one way out of many. They have groups, and I know I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm going to kind of speed up through these. But they have groups, again, just putting people together. They have ways to send money to each other. It works kind of like PayPal, but it's inside a messenger. They also have audio, which is pretty fun. So now you can send video, audio messages to people. They also have stickers. Again, they have the locations on the map where you can send your map location. You can send videos and also photos to friends. You can do calls. You can do video calls. They're actually in pretty good quality as well. Obviously, that technology is getting better and better and better. And it's free, especially anywhere in the world. There's some places in the world it's expensive to make phone calls, but not anymore. They also have 360-degree photos in Messenger. So now you can do these 360-degree photos of some place you've been to. And you can share that with everybody, on your whoever you want to in Messenger, and then they could take their phone and be like, "Wow, that's so cool! I wish I was there." Then they have HD quality, like I said, and then also they just brought this in, which is still in beta. It's very new, but they did select a few companies. One of them was Sephora. This is actually a girl that's shopping from inside a Messenger. She's trying on different lipsticks, and then she's making a purchase all from inside a Messenger. So what's the number one thing as marketers you should be focusing on? That's pretty good. Anybody else? No worries. Anything. What do we got? That's pretty much it right there. It really is attention. It's the number one thing you should be focusing on in your business. How can I keep the attention of my customers? Because, getting eyeballs is cheap, getting impressions is cheap, and hopefully it's disruptive enough. But once you get their attention, then how do you keep their attention? Well, one thing that Messenger has done for you is that it's helped you get their attention. And there was actually a study, I think it was Harvard, quite a few years ago, but it's well known in the marketing industry. And it said that people need to see you or your business or your brand 7 to 14 times before they ever decide to do business with you. And it's probably going up, because people, they have been screwed over. They've had some bad experiences with other businesses. So they have to see your business 7 to 14 times to know, like, and trust you. So if you can build a messenger bot that gets out in front of them 7 to 14 times, then they're going to do business with you the next time they need to scratch that itch, the next time they have a problem to solve, especially because you have that solution for them. So let's look at some statistics real quick. There's over 1.3 billion people on Messenger. 67% of people expect to Messenger more in the next 2 years. That was like a year old, so it's the next year. This is brand new, came out this year. Over 8 billion messages are sent between people and businesses every month on Messenger. 8 billion between people and businesses, not people and people and businesses. Last year that was 2 billion. This year it's at 8 billion. 55% of people say being able to message a business makes them feel more likely to trust a business. Okay, we talked about why they need to see your business so much, but why is that? Why do you think this makes them feel more likely to trust a business? It's humanizing the whole thing, right? It's humanizing your message to your customer. It's automating it too. 56% of people said they'd rather message a business than call customer service. Who here likes calling customer service? David Marcus actually said that he wants to get rid of the 800 number. I think that's a very bold thing to say. Maybe not ever, but it makes sense because, you call your bank and you're like, dial 1, dial 8, dial 6. Oh my God, wrong guy. Then they hang up on you and you start over. But with Messenger, you can get instant gratification. You can instantly answer a question to your business directly to a customer. You could take any business in the world, you could look at their customer service and find the 5 most commonly asked questions, and you could make it automated in Messenger. And when somebody comes and asks those questions, you can back it up with a cell after you've answered their question. Totally automated. It's awesome, actually. I love it. You guys are learning. 70% of returning students in the U.S. would use Messenger to contact a school with an application question. I actually put that in there just because I want you guys to know that the younger demographic is already adapted to this. 53% of returning students in the U.S. would use Messenger to contact a school with an application question. And 63% of people saying being able to message a business makes them feel closer to a business. And this is regardless if they're talking to a chatbot or they're talking to a human. And I think that you should have both in there. You shouldn't just let your chatbot do everything. You should really pay attention to your customer support, your customers' needs. You should survey your customers. You can do it inside of Messenger as well. You can find out what are their biggest problems, so you can create solutions for them. Once you create a solution for them, you have a sellable product. You literally do. And that's what it does for you. Even having a chat widget on your sales page will increase your sales because 63% saying being able to message a business just makes them feel closer to a business. Now let's look at some statistics versus email. And I'm not going to bag on email. I think email is awesome. I think email is still very relevant, very important. But let's just face it. It's busy, right? Let me get a drink real quick. It's busy, right? What's your guys' email inbox look like? But in 2001, 2002, it was awesome. We always like to keep it clean. We go in there and like clean our inboxes, and nowadays it's kind of almost impossible for me anyway because I'm on so many lists. But email open rates, this is the average, 24.79%, and click-through rate, 4.19%. I tell you, internally we get on the high between 10 and 15, and about 1.5 click-through in our company. That's what we've seen. But with Messenger, and this too does depend on your niche, your content, whatever you're pitching, as well as what type of service you're providing to your list. But 88% read rates and 56% click-through rates. Now, most people don't fathom what that means. Like, we just see the number and we're like, oh, that's cool. But when you really fathom it, that's when you're like, I need to be doing this. Like, I really need to be doing this. So using email versus Facebook Messenger is a 50x difference. So 200 Messenger subscribers, that's kind of showing a 10, but you'll see the number at the end. 300 Messenger subscriber list versus, and I said equivalent, to having a 3,000-person email list. And by the way, a 3,000-person email list is probably a lot more work than building a 300 Messenger list. In fact, because Facebook has so many data points, they have so much data that they really don't need the use for forms to get email addresses. They just need a click. And then they already have your information. Now they're actually passing it to your third party like Segmate app. So this is showing you one of our email lists. You can see on the left-hand side, those are like our open rates. And then you can see on the right-hand side, same company, those are our open and click-through rates as well. Drastic difference. So if you do the math, if you took a 3,000-person email list and you had a 10% open rate, and you had a 300 bot list, and you had an 80% open rate, that's 300 people are going to open at a 3,000 on the email, and that's 240 people that are going to open on the bot. But the difference is on email, because it's all about click-through. If you want to drive traffic, you need to have a high click-through. So 1 to 3%, that's 3 to 9 clicks on a 3,000-person list, versus bots at, let's just say 50%, that's 120 clicks. 120 clicks versus 3 to 9. So which one would you prefer to focus on? Which one wins? So why is that? Why is it so effective? Well, like I said, Facebook has all the data. They're a very smart marketing company, and they have this thing. I kind of call it the triple threat in marketing. And what it is they already have email on lock. They're already going to email you. So when you get a message sent in there, that email is going to come in. It's going to have a call to action right on there. So you see the big blue bar. They're actually now showing part of that first conversation, which creates curiosity. And they'll show the first part with like ... sometimes. Creates curiosity. You can see it's coming directly from Facebook, so it has a good inboxing rate. And I'm sure Facebook does a lot to make sure they have a good inboxing rate. And you can see it comes from One Hacker Way, Menlo Park. I don't know why it's One Hacker Way. It's kind of funny. But anyway. Then, do you guys remember a couple of years ago they were pushing you to get Messenger on your phone? This is annoying, right? I mean, I'm going to admit it was annoying because I was like, fine, you got me. But why'd they do it? Push notifications. Now they can actually send you a push notification, not on your just your desktop, but also on your phone. So now they got that taken care of. So they got email, push notifications. Oh, and by the way, they also have SMS text. So if you're connected to that fan page, you can actually turn on that settings, and you can have push notifications. Some people, SMS, some people prefer it. They'll turn it on and they'll just leave it on at that because they know they'll get the message. Now, all of these things will go back to Messenger, either on your phone or on your desktop. And wherever you got the lead, it's cross-pollinating to wherever. So maybe they were shopping on a store with you. Maybe they were shopping they're at your website, getting in more information, but they forgot about it because they were at work or they're at home. As soon as they started talking with you and engaging with you, boom, they were on your list. So once they were on your list, they forgot about you, but then you send them a message and it reminds them. So no matter where they're at that time of day or wherever it is, you'll be able to bring them back to your business. So some of you guys might be saying, hey, Carl, I'm a little bit out of time. Is that cool? That's it. Okay, well, I better hurry up. So let's talk about these entry points. Okay, these entry points are all the ways that you can get people to build your list. Okay, first one is a checkbox. You can stick these on forms. You can stick them on buttons. Anywhere you can stick a checkbox. Buy buttons, whatever. Then you also have the welcome message on Facebook. If you turn this on with the right information, if you turn this on from the settings, this will actually pop up anytime someone searches and finds your fan page. It'll pop up. There's actually copy you can write there to get them engaged, get them to click the Get Started button, and boom, they're on your list. Then you have the Send a Message buttons. They click those. You can have them on your footers, your headers of your sites. They click them. As soon as they start engaging with their bot, boom, they're on your list. Then you have these chat widgets, which, like I said, these will increase conversion rates. It also lets people know that it's humanized. If they have support questions, you can put these anywhere, fan page, wherever, not fan page, it already has that, but store, your websites. These will open up and engage them as well. Then they have the scan codes. I'm going to show you guys one other really cool thing. So grab your phone, and I'm going to show you what I think is going to replace the business card. So if you grab your phone, you can see on the bottom left-hand side, it says People. You guys see that? And on the top, once you click that, the next one's going to say Scan Code. Awesome. Now point at the screen. You guys are now connected to me. Yeah. All right. So I believe these are gonna replace the business card. You literally can take and scan a code when you meet someone in person. You can actually take that and show it to them when you meet them. They say like, "Hey, show me your business card." No, I want to show you something cooler. Pull that out. Boom. They're in your bot. They're answering all kinds of questions. And you're able to pass information. You can get their email address. You get phone numbers. You can indoctrinate them. You can educate them about all kinds of stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time for Karl Schuckert.